Located on 225 acres in Garden City, Long Island, Nassau Community College, a member of the State University of New York system, has close to 20,000 students attend the school each year. The college mascot is Leo the Lion, and these are his stories of the school's absolute best and brightest who have graduated over the past 50-plus years. Let's catch up together as the Alumni Association of Nassau Community College proudly presents Lion Tales, a Nassau Community College Foundation production on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Welcome to Lion Tales, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Aurora Workman. I am president of the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. And I'm here alone today. My friend and co-host, Dr. Lynnda Nadien, who is also a graduate, is out. And so I am here, and I will help share this story, and we hope to inspire, uplift, and often amuse you. Each week, Lynnda and I usually introduce an alumni of Nassau Community College interested in sharing their experience here at Nassau, along with the secrets to their success. We look for many new and exciting events on the Alumni Association's social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and our web pages at www.ncc.edu/alumni. If you, our listening audience, has any positive news you would like to share about Nassau Community College alumni, engagements, births, graduations, weddings, or accolades, email us at alumni@ncc.edu, and we will shout you out. So since my fabulous friend Lynnda Nadien is not here today, I am solo, and I am very pleased to have the opportunity to sit and talk with today's guest, Jason Kahn, class of 2007. Jason is a sports reporter for News 12 New Jersey and a proud graduate of the Nassau Community College. Welcome to Lion Tales, Jason.
Well, first of all, Aurora, thank you so much for the invitation. It really does bring back some memories. This is my first time back on campus, actually, since I graduated, believe it or not. So things are a little bit different around here as I was touring the studio, because right here, this is where I used to work.
Mm.
Yeah.
So is it changed? Does it look great?
Oh, it looks great. Oh, yeah. It looks fabulous, actually. You know, just going around the studio today, you could see how technology has evolved, right? From when I was in school, we were still using tape decks. Mm-hmm. That's different. And then, you know, from what I've seen, it's more digital now. Yeah. So I love the look of it. Mm-hmm. I'm very proud that I've worked here, and I think that we're definitely going in the right direction with this radio station. I love it.
Well, this is great. So when you were here at Nassau, did you always want to be a broadcast journalist?
When I was here at Nassau, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really my passion for journalism started late in high school. Mm-hmm. So like every high school student, you kind of look at the colleges you want to go to, and you look at the majors. You have a list of majors. And then I saw communications, and I'm like, you know what? I can do that. That's what I said. But you can't just say I can do that, of course. Right. You actually have to do it. Yeah. So when I got here, when I was here at Nassau, I sought out, you know, something involved with media. And I said, the campus radio station, I got to get my feet wet. And so I came here, and we have our fabulous program director at the time, and I believe he's still here, Jim Green. Mm-hmm. He auditioned me, and I stunk. I was terrible. I got to be honest. I had a higher pitched voice than probably I do now. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that deep baritone voice, and he called me out on that. That's okay, Jim. You're allowed to do that. It was a great critique, but it made me better. And he saw the passion that I had. He saw that I really wanted to do this, Aurora, and that's important. You got to have that passion. And so I knew from then on I was going to do this. He gave me the opportunity, and I just kind of ran with it.
That's wonderful. So you've been working on the campus radio, but you also wrote in the Vignette. So you went after all media.
All media, yeah. And I think that's important when you're young, when you're just starting out. Your freshman year, you really want to, dabble in this and dabble in that, because you don't know exactly what you have an idea, an inkling of what you want to do with your career, but you don't know exactly. And so by getting my feet wet here at the radio station and by writing for the newspaper, it exposed me to these areas of the communications business. Exactly. And it gave me an idea. It allowed me to follow my dream, but, what path I would take who knows, right?
Right.
So that's kind of how it evolved. And I decided that I'd get involved with radio and with the newspaper, and then let's see what will come from it. So that's
several of our
it.
students who come here to the radio station have a lot of jobs.
Oh, yeah.
So what were some of yours, and what were some of your not favorite ones?
Well, so when I started, I was, like you said, doing everything, jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Probably monitoring the board, and I don't know if it's the same way here, but we have to make sure that we don't have any dead air, right?
Right.
Dead air is the death of radio. You don't want that.
I am reminded every time.
Yes. So monitoring the board, making sure the shows were going on simultaneously, one from the next. And I was also doing a music show. That was different. Music that I wasn't exposed to previously.
Right.
I was putting music on from, the 60s, the 70s, you name it. And so I was a disc jockey, I guess you can say, for a 2-hour music show. And I was also doing some play-by-play broadcasting. There was no play-by-play broadcasting at the time for our football and our basketball teams here on campus at Nassau. Right. So me and a colleague, we restarted that. And so my sophomore year, we actually restarted that. And that was great. That was a great opportunity. Nice. Came in on the weekends, did their games, basketball and football. And those were pretty much the jobs that I had. I also anchored some of the news. We had a wrap-up show, and I did that 2 or 3 times a week. And anything else. I also would help record shows, so I was everywhere.
So did you become very popular being a disc jockey here at WHPC?
I don't know if being a disc jockey made me popular, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that was the end of my disc jockeying career. That would be the last of it. That's when I found out I did not have a passion for being a disc jockey and that I could not do that. You have a knack for something, right? And that was not it. So I think, if anything, I would get noticed for the news. When I would do my newscast, I maybe would add some flavor to it a little bit. And any sports content that I would provide.
Well, obviously, sports has taken you into your career now with sports, because Jason, you work at the News 12 in New Jersey, and how many years have you been there?
So at News 12 New Jersey, 4 years now.
Oh, that's excellent. And you're reporting on professional teams like the Jets and the Giants. I love my Jets, so they are professional teams. I hear y'all.
All
out
right.
there.
That's right. We'll see. This is a new year, fresh start. We'll see if they can make the playoffs.
I know. How are they doing? Are you still reporting on them?
Yeah, of course. The Jets, they're still, the verdict's still out for them this season. We'll see.
I'll tell you, I'm green all the way, being from Long Island. I love it. But you're listening to Lion Tales on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Aurora Workman, along without my dear friend, Dr. Lynnda Nadien. And my guest today is Jason Kahn, who has worked at News 12, New Jersey, for the past 4 years. He's reported on professional teams like the Jets and the Giants, but he's also finding stories in local communities. So on Friday nights, where can we catch you? What are you doing?
On Friday nights, well, it depends. Are we in football season, or are we talking about football season? You can catch me at probably a local high school. We do our high school football show on Friday nights, and so we have something called the Game of the Week, and usually I'm out in the field and I'm reporting on that, and so we go live. Late at night.
Must be thrilled.
Yeah, we go live late at night, and that's usually my Friday nights in the football during the football season. After football season is over, my Friday nights, I bounce around everywhere, wherever the next best event is. Exactly.
So that's what, I was talking to one of my friends in New Jersey, and they always talk about the Friday night lights, and we're always asking people to bring back Friday night games out here.
Sure.
And in Uniondale, they did, and like 500 people came out, it was great.
It's a great atmosphere. It's a great, family environment.
Yes.
You have a lot of students who come out for that. So it's a little bit different than those Saturday afternoon games.
Yes. Well, tell us now, before you came there, you worked at CBS in Tallahassee, Florida. And prior to that, you spent time at News 12 in the Bronx and in Brooklyn. Tell us about those days.
All right. So just to kind of backtrack a little bit, I graduated from after graduating from my 4-year institution, I landed my first job at News 12 The Bronx. And it wasn't a full-time job. It was as a freelancer, which is kind of part-time, except you don't get benefits, and whatever hours they give you, you take. Right? So I was working 7 days a week because they were giving me a lot of hours. And at News 12 The Bronx, it was great because I had a chance to cover the Yankees. And within 4 months of working there, I covered the Yankees winning the 2009 World Series.
Oh, how
right.
excellent.
That
I mean,
would
who
be
gets,
like
my life I can end it.
Exactly. You're 21, 22 years old, and you're on the field with Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter. You're in the locker room with them. So, yeah. I mean, imagine that. I mean, I was just starstruck. It was awesome. And so from there, after doing freelancing for 6 months at News 12 The Bronx, they gave me full-time, and then I worked another 1.5 years there at News 12 The Bronx. And finally, I got this opportunity to work at the CBS station in Tallahassee, Florida. I had opportunities to cover a lot of great events, a lot of huge events there. College football team, Florida State University.
Football is big out there.
Football is huge out there, too. We can get into that maybe. But they ended up winning the national championship in 2014, and I was out in Pasadena, California. I was covering them, following them the entire way, covered their national championship. I covered a Heisman Trophy winner, which is the best player in college football. So I traveled along with them. I had a fun time doing that. And I also had a lot of fun just telling local stories. You know, that's really my passion, just telling a lot of local stories. It's great to cover the professional teams, Aurora. Don't get me wrong. When you're in the Jets and the Giants locker room, when you're in the New Jersey Devils locker room, I mean, there's nothing better than that. But at the same time, when you get to tell a local story and you get to tell it the way you want to tell it, it's great.
Now, we're going to talk about local stories because I think a lot of the communities love it when news is, when the news covers them and they're in their news. And you appreciate you going to these things because I heard about the local games that you did in New Jersey and people love it. So one of the things that I know, finding local stories. Now, you're responsible for searching and setting up the stories. How do you go about that?
Yeah, I get that question quite often because a lot of people are curious about that side of the business. And they're like, oh, what, do you just stand in front of the camera and you just say a few words? There's a lot more that goes into it than that. It starts in the morning when you have to come in, you pitch your story to a group of executives and producers, and then once that gets cleared, you have to start setting up your story. And sometimes you can set up stories in advance. You know, if you're doing a feature story or you know of something going on down the road, you can set those stories up. So you make calls and you pitch your story to people you're talking to on the phone, some people who you may not have already made contacts with, So you start setting up your stories, and then once I'm done setting up a story or two. It could be 2 or 3 stories that I'm doing in one day, so I'm bouncing around from city to city to city. I'll go out with a photographer. We'll drive our News 12 vehicle. I'm sure that you see that around Long Island line, right? And we will start at one story to the next and to the next. And so we could do 3 stories in one day. Not all of them are going to get the same amount of time on our newscast. But they will be covered in their own way. So sometimes we do the day of stories, which will air that day. And then there are other stories where we'll just gather some elements of a feature story that I'm doing, and we'll air that story at a later time. Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into it. We have a lot of setting up to do, a lot of scheduling, and so on and so forth.
You're listening to Lion Tales. Today's guest, after graduating from UNC Chapel Hill, he landed his first job as a television sports reporter. Jason Kahn started at News 12 The Bronx, where he had the chance to cover the Yankees winning the 2009 World Series.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends.
It's Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do